Before this video begins, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss an upload. Also, be sure to check out my affiliate links in the description below to get discounts on different car mods and products. Alrighty, let's get into the drive. Hello and welcome. Today we are driving a 2021 Subaru Outback Touring XT. This is an all-wheel drive model. I would like to thank Flood Ford Lincoln in Narragansett, Rhode Island, for allowing me to both review and test drive this wagon. I did a full review on this Subaru Outback, currently out on the channel, but I'll just do a quick rundown of some specs here and we'll get it out on the road. This is finished in white with a brown leather interior. It has about 8,000 miles on it and currently stickers around $36,000. This is a higher trim of the Outback and is powered by a 2.4-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder flat-4 engine, making 260 horsepower and 277 pound-feet of torque. This is mated with a CVT transmission and achieves 23 mpg city, 30 on the highway, and 26 combined. This rides on 18-inch alloy wheels with 225 wide tires on them, and it can tow up to 3,500 pounds. For safety features, you get auto high beams, blind spot monitoring, Subaru's EyeSight forward collision alert with avoidance, lane departure alert with lane keep assist, and that's going to be about it here. This rides on 4-wheel independent suspension with struts in the front and double wishbone in the rear. This has LED lights all around, and it does have the typical Subaru roof racks. So those are going to be very capable of putting on some bags, crossbars, or some other things. And finally in the rear, you do get stainless steel exhaust. And that'll just about wrap up that portion, just because I did a quick rundown. But if you want to get all the details about this Subaru Outback, make sure to go back on Radial reviews and check out my previous full review with all the specs and details listed. Alrighty, and let's get this out on the road. So this is going to be a POV night test drive, which I haven't actually done before, so that's going to be pretty cool. And yeah, so first off, you do get blind spot, so in that mirror, at least I could see if anyone was coming. Okay, so first off, on this driver's steering wheel, it is leather wrapped. It has some very nice, soft, supple leather. This entire interior has lots of panels of leather and on the seats, and it's really nice quality leather. It feels very nice to the touch. And this wheel is actually heated, so I just popped that toggle there, and now I have a heated steering wheel, so that's really cool. For your gauge cluster, it's part digital, part analog. You get a center multimedia digital screen, and then the rest of the gauges are going to be analog in this case. This does have auto stop start on and off. I am going to turn it off because I personally dislike it in all cars, not Subaru. And yeah. Alrighty, so this does have the 260 horsepower, 277 pound-feet of torque. And yeah, we'll see how this goes. I've never driven a Subaru Outback. I don't know if I've actually even driven a Subaru yet, so this is going to be cool for me. Alright. And I do have a lane departure warning off at the moment, but it does have lane departure warning with lane keep assist if you want it to do so. Alright, so for my initial impressions right here, it rides very quiet. I'm going about 40 miles an hour. Wind noise is basically non-existent. It's very quiet in here. And then additionally, even though it's only on 225 tires, they're not all that wide, it's riding very quiet. There's not much road or tire noise. And additionally, it is it's just pretty easy to drive. It drives just like a car. These Outbacks for a good while have been known as having, you know, a very car-like ride. They've been very pleasant to drive, even though they're on the larger side. So it's pretty cool on that basis. You do have a very large infotainment screen in here. I think it's either 10 or 12 inches or so, and that's Subaru's Starlink system. So that's very, very nice to have. It's massive right there. It's pretty easy to use. I don't love Starlink, just not due to the responsiveness of touchscreen, but it just takes a moment to shift over to wherever you are selecting to go, so it's not my favorite system, but it's okay. It's simple enough to use, and it's really not that bad. And then additionally, over here you can see blind spot monitoring working well. And yeah, overall I haven't even had to rev very high to get anywhere. So, and I'm in a normal drive mode right now. This does have X mode for the all-wheel drive, so that's like a a superior all-wheel drive mode where it would be for like getting unstuck and stuff like that. It's kind of an off-road mode because this has a good bit of ground clearance. So a lot of people, like in the commercials and such, people do use Subarus to go into the Outback, if pun intended, and, you know, go do some off-roading. Some light off-roading, but you can do some medium stuff with this too. It's a pretty capable vehicle. And yeah, let's see the brakes. They feel pretty good. They're very smooth and easy to engage, which is nice, but they're there, you know, confidently when you need them. Let's get into it a bit. Okay, so the CVT will give you enough power when you need it. It's a little bit hectic. That wasn't very smooth. It just like jumps up to like 4,500 RPM and then just like chokes itself back down to economy mode. That wasn't the smoothest way of delivering power, in my opinion, but it's okay. It's not rough. You do have some shift paddles here, simulated 5th, 4th, 3rd, and 2nd. Okay, it likes to jump back into drive and control itself if you stomp on it, I guess, when you're in that mode. It's not the slowest response. It's not bad, but it's just not amazing. It's not expected to be. This is only a CVT. It doesn't have real gears. It's mimicking, so that's okay. It performs fine on that basis. I can feel the steering wheel is getting pretty warm all around, so that's very nice. The heated steering wheel is working well. I'm on a bit of a rougher road here. It's not, it's really not that rough. Driving through here is actually pretty easy to do. Pretty good overall on that basis. And once again, road noise, wind noise, tire noise, they're all very subdued. It's very quiet in here. And although you probably can barely see right now, I'll try and include some B-roll on the screen, more so, about the interior of this car, because this has a very nice choice of mixed and varied materials, as well as having just very, very nice supple leather everywhere. And contrast stitching, this is a lot more luxurious than I was actually expecting it to be. Like Subaru in the last couple gens of most of their cars, especially this Outback, apparently have really upped their game. They look very nice. And you do have a backup camera in here, of course, and it does have moving tracking lines like so. So very easy to use, very nice to have. And yeah, it's pretty good. And it's all-wheel drive, so doing stuff like that, a little bit of a tight corner, you feel nothing but firm and planted. You're not going to get like any awkward wheel spin right there. So that's always good. And the CVT, it's quick enough to respond. I'm not revving it hard or anything at the moment. It shifts smoothly, you don't feel it too much, but occasionally when you're bouncing off the upper RPMs, you will feel just like a little bit, not of a clunk, but just a little bit of a, you know, a visible shift. And, you know, you can feel the shift. It's not too bad. But shifting into higher RPMs as you're driving is actually done extremely smoothly. You can't feel it that much. You just feel a bit more of a tug with the engine. You do get a little bit of a turbo lag, of course, because it's a 2.4 liter flat 4 boxer engine. It does have a turbo, that's why it has this much power. But yeah, it's pretty good. And then if you put on your high beams right there, they're pretty good high beams, very good visibility. And if you pull them back down, it's still pretty good. It has LED headlights as well as front and rear, and the fog lights are also going to be that. So very good visibility here, nice bright white light, as it should be. And then inside here, you do get a 12-speaker Harman Kardon audio system for an upgrade, so that's very nice to, you know, have. You have some pretty good bumping audio right here. I have tested it, sounds nice. And yeah, overall, it's a very nice upgrade to have. And for your safety features, you can turn some of them off, which is kind of nice, like that, having the lane departure warning with assist off, because although it's pretty good, it's not always perfect at night, and just overall, sometimes you don't feel you need it, so it's nice you can turn it on and off. Same with the auto stop start. I appreciate having a button for that. And visibility in here is pretty good. It's a relatively boxy design in a sense because it's a wagon. Yeah. Cornering is actually pretty decent. There's some body roll. Nothing bad though. A lot better than expected, so that's good. Now I'm going almost 60 and there's really minimal wind noise. This is a very quiet car. They did a great job with sound deadening in here. Let's go off here and we'll do a 0 to 60 in just a moment as well. Yeah, this handles actually pretty well for what it is. It doesn't exactly drive like tight like a sedan, but it drives pretty dang tight compared to an SUV of its similar size. This wagon really does benefit it, this wagon style. The accelerator is a little touchy though. I'm not really able to drive it all that gently at low speeds. Let's get the high beams on. And we will come to a quick stop and we'll do a 0 to 60, see what occurs. Come on, I want the high beams. 60. Okay, so it's not exactly slow going up to 60. It's not amazing, but it's perfectly fine. The CVT does like to keep it, you know, a little bit limited, but it did keep it up. That's just lane departure, but it did keep it up, which is nice for where I needed it to keep the RPM up nice and high. So I do appreciate that. And then yeah, overall high beams driving here down this really terrible visibility road. It's just so dark. Is yeah, it's pretty easy to live with this. I know, car. Yeah, it's a little aggressive. I'm not over the lane in any way. It's just not perfect at night with reading that. So that's just a little bit of a thing right there. That's why I turned off lane departure warning for the most part. It just does it occasionally butting in. So yeah, I do like I can mostly turn that off because although it's a good system, it's incorrect on occasion at night, understandably. So, but yeah, overall driving this, it's actually pretty good. I really would not hate driving this in the daily because it's large. It has a lot of room in the back. In the review, I sat in the back. You can go check that out on YouTube, get a more detailed description of how the back seat feels to me. But yeah, it is very capable. You can fit definitely 3 adults back there comfortably. And yeah, with this handling, it's actually pretty good. I actually don't hate driving this. I don't really love the accelerator though. I'm not in a sport mode or anything, but this thing is kind of touchy. It's a mix of things with the CVT and just, I don't know, it's very touchy. It's actually kind of hard to drive at slower speeds, like without kind of like throwing your head back just a little bit when you're first accelerating. That's the only gripe I have on that basis. But it's not exactly slow, and it's not lethargic. The CVT is not lethargic. I don't hate the CVT actually. There would be some benefits of having a traditional gearbox, but overall I think it's okay. And then yeah, riding even through some pretty rough spots in the road, this takes them pretty well. Of course, because because so many people like taking these off-road onto, you know, light to medium rough surfaces. So it does a pretty good job on that basis. And you do get both heated and cooled front seats, which is nice, as well as heated rear seats in this model. So that's good. With 2 levels in the rear, which is pretty good. You do get some climate vents back there. And then of course it's a 2-row wagon, so it has a lot of room in the trunk. Yeah, but going through these spots, which are really horrible in the road, this takes it very gently. Doesn't throw you around at all, hurl you in and out of the bumps. The 4-wheel independent suspension really does benefit it through spots like that. And yeah, that's going to mostly wrap up the review actually of this 2021 Subaru Outback Touring XT. I actually think it's a very good setup. It's a decent value as well. This currently is used, but it's costing about $36,000. I think it's very nice put up against some of its rivals, like the small SUVs or even some medium SUVs. I would choose this over some others just based on this handling, because this is a bit more low slung and stretched out. It really does benefit it in the handling department. And Subaru has a great all-wheel drive system, of course. Their symmetrical all-wheel drive is like unmatched. So snow is not too much of a worry, and cold weather things, and off-roading in this. And if you get on it, it's not the quickest, but it really does get out of its own way, which is good, with the 260 horsepower. So yeah, it's actually moderately enjoyable to drive, and I would definitely choose this over some certain other cars. At least more traditional SUV body styles, just due to the handling, and this is really nice inside too for the price. So yeah, that's about it for me. Thank you very much to Flood Ford Lincoln in Narragansett, Rhode Island, for allowing me to both review and test drive the Subi Outback. Make sure to check out the full review currently out on the channel, and I hope you enjoyed this night POV test drive. As always, drive with passion. Thank you very much for watching, and take care.